You ever have one of those days? You step outside, it's a beautiful summer morning, you've got your binoculars ready to go, and crickets. Literally. The sun's out, the trees are full, but it feels like every single bird has just packed up and left town. It's a super common frustration, but what if I told you they're actually right there, hiding in plain sight? Let's crack the code of the incredible disappearing summer birds. Right? This is the big question every birder asks themselves somewhere around mid-July. You know they have to be out there. Maybe you hear a faint chip note way off in the distance, but actually laying eyes on them feels impossible. But here's the thing. It's not you, and the birds haven't all gone on vacation. The rules of the game have just changed. So think of it like this. You've just unlocked summer birding hard mode. Yeah, the high sun, all that thick foliage, the heat, it all works together to create a series of really tricky puzzles. But like any game, once you learn the rules and figure out the secrets, you can absolutely win. And today, we're going to solve every last one of those puzzles. Okay, our first big challenge, it's all about light. That intense high noon summer sun doesn't just make you sweat, it's actively playing tricks on your eyes. It makes vibrant, colorful birds look completely dull and washed out. Let's dig into why that happens. So let's get into a little bit of science here. The term is structural color. You know that brilliant electric blue on an indigo bunting? Well, that's not from pigment, like paint on a wall. It's made by microscopic, prism-like structures on the feathers that scatter light in a very specific way. In the right light, it's absolutely breathtaking. But in that harsh, overhead sun, the light scatters all wrong, and that brilliant color just vanishes. It's kind of like a diamond losing its fire in bad lighting. And I mean, just look at the difference your position makes. It's staggering. On the left, that's your typical view in the direct sun. It's all glare, the color looks flat. But by just changing your angle and looking at the bird from its shadow side, as you see on the right, bam, the true, vibrant plumage is revealed. It really is like switching from an old TV to a brand new 4K screen. So how do you actually solve this? It's a simple 3-step trick. First, you just have to know why it's happening. That high sun is scattering the light. Second, you fix it by moving. Put the sun at your side or even at your back, so you're looking at the bird's shadow side. And finally, pop on some polarized sunglasses. They're designed to cut that horizontal glare. Seriously, it's a total game changer. All right, on to challenge number 2, what I like to call the green wall. Summer foliage is at its absolute thickest, right? It creates this dense, leafy curtain that birds just love to hide behind. So, how in the world do we see through it? Think about this for a second. A really thick summer canopy can block up to 90% of the sunlight from reaching the inside. So it's dark in there, and for the birds, it's also a whole lot cooler. This is exactly why they retreat into the leaves. It's their cool, shady hideout. And they don't just duck behind the first leaf they see. Nope, they actually move pretty deep inside, often 3 to 4 feet in from the outer branches, just to find that perfect shady spot. So if you're only scanning the very edges of the trees, you're looking in the completely wrong place. Okay, so how do you penetrate this green wall? You start with your ears. Forget your eyes for a minute. Cup your hands behind your ears to really focus and pinpoint where a call is coming from. Then you can try some gentle pishing sounds, psh, 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 just to make them curious and maybe coax them a little closer. And finally, switch back to your eyes, but don't look for a bird. Look for movement. The slightest rustle of a single leaf can give away their position. Our third puzzle has to do with time and temperature. Birds are smart creatures. They are not about to waste a bunch of energy flying around in the blistering midday heat. If you want to find them, you have to understand their schedule. Here is a fantastic pro-birder term for you, thermal refugia. It sounds fancy, but all it means is nature's little air-conditioned lounges. Think of a cool, shady ravine, or the damp area around a spring, or even just a north-facing slope that doesn't get hammered by the sun. This is where birds go to chill out and wait for the heat to pass. You find these spots, you'll find the birds. A bird's summer day follows a really predictable pattern. The absolute best time for activity is during what we call the crepuscular windows, that magical hour or so right around sunrise, and then again right around sunset. Midday, though, that's for siestas. A lot of birds go into something called behavioral torpor, which is basically a short-term power nap to save energy in the heat. So to find them, you gotta adjust your schedule to match theirs. Okay, so we've covered light, we've covered foliage, and we've covered timing. Now let's put it all together and build the perfect toolkit. the gear, the tactics, and the optical tricks you need to beat the final challenges of summer birding. First, let's deal with two tiny but oh so frustrating enemies, bugs and fog. For mosquitoes, trust me, pre-treating your clothes with permethrin is an absolute lifesaver. And to stop your binoculars from fogging up the second you walk out of your air-conditioned car, just let them acclimate for a few minutes in a shaded spot, like your garage, before you start. Easy fix. You ever tried looking at a bird way across a hot beach or a field and all you see is this shimmering, blurry silhouette? That's heat haze. It's basically a mirage caused by rising hot air bending the light rays, and it makes identifying anything at a distance almost impossible. But there is a fantastic and totally counterintuitive trick to beat it. See, the most turbulent, blurry air is usually in the first few feet right above the hot ground. So by simply crouching down or even sitting, just getting 2 or 3 feet lower, you can often look under the worst of that shimmer and get a dramatically clearer view. How cool is that? So finally, let's run through your strategic gear checklist. A wide-brimmed hat, but make sure it has a dark underbrim that cuts the glare. Those polarized sunglasses we talked about, amber or brown lenses are great for contrast. A hydration pack, because staying hydrated keeps your mind and your eyes sharp. And light, breathable, treated clothing. This isn't just a list of stuff, it's your strategic advantage. When you boil it all down, it really comes back to this one powerful idea. Summer birds don't disappear. They adapt. They're smart, and they figured out how to handle the challenges of summer. And to find them, all we have to do is adapt right along with them. So there you have it. You've got the strategies now to decode the light, to see through the green wall, and to master the heat. You've got the tactics and the gear. Summer birding isn't hard mode anymore. It's just a game with a different set of rules. So the only question left is, now that you know the rules, are you ready to go out and win?